Have you ever wondered why, in the stillness of the night, your eyes suddenly open between 3 and 5 a.m.? No alarm, no sound, just an inner pull that wakes you. You try to go back to sleep, but something deep inside feels unsettled. It's not restlessness, it's a calling, a divine whisper that says, I want to hear your voice while the entire world sleeps. While success, wealth, and pleasure chase the daylight, there is a sacred moment where the Lord of the worlds descends to the lowest heaven, asking, who is calling upon me so that I may answer them? Who is seeking forgiveness so that I may forgive them? When the world is drowned in silence, when even the wind seems to hold its breath and the streets are empty under the cloak of darkness, there is a divine moment unfolding, unseen by most and answered by few. Between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., a time when sleep is sweetest, the Almighty calls out to His creation in a way more intimate than any other. This is not a random awakening, it is a spiritual invitation. The one who created sleep itself wakes certain hearts to something greater, a conversation with Him. It is a call that pierces through the layers of distraction, fatigue, and forgetfulness. It is as if your soul is gently stirred by a whisper from the heavens, saying, get up, I am waiting for you. At that hour, the world is asleep. The noise of life has faded. The phones are silent. The messages have stopped. And the mind, free from the day's chaos, becomes clear and calm. The heart is finally still enough to feel what it usually misses. The pull of the divine. This is the moment when Allah, in His mercy and love, chooses to invite His servant to speak directly to Him. Imagine the Lord of the worlds calling out, waiting for your voice, waiting for your tears, waiting for your whisper. It's not a general call, it's a personal one to you by name from the one who never forgets. Think about how profound that is. Every day, you are surrounded by voices, people wanting your attention, demanding your energy. But at this sacred hour, none of them matter. It's only you and the one who gave you life. The one who sustains you when all else fails. And when He wakes you up, it's not because He wants to burden you. It's because He wants to bless you. He's saying, come to me before the world distracts you again. Come to me before the sun rises and your worries begin. This hour is not about sleeplessness. It's about closeness. It's about an intimate bond between the Creator and His creation. The soul in those early hours is at its purest. The distractions are gone, the ego is quiet, and sincerity flows easily. You don't need to pretend in front of anyone. You don't need to hide your fears or your pain. You can cry, you can confess, you can pour out every burden, and He listens. There's no queue, no waiting time, no rejection. The one who hears every heartbeat hears yours louder in that silence. And the tears you shed at that hour are not wasted. They are collected, remembered, and returned to you as mercy in your day. There is something divine about the stillness before dawn. Angels descend, blessings fill the atmosphere, and your heart begins to feel lighter just by being awake. That pull you feel, the random urge to wake up, is not random at all. It's love. It's an answer to your unspoken prayers. Maybe you've been asking for change, for peace, for healing, and Allah is responding not through words, but by calling you to meet Him in solitude. It's as if He's saying, come to me directly. What you're searching for cannot be found elsewhere. So many people think their problems are too big, their pain too deep, or their sins too great. Yet, the one who wakes them at that hour is showing them the opposite. He's showing that no matter what they've done, they're still being invited. He hasn't turned away from them. He hasn't closed the door. The world may have forgotten them, but He has not. The very act of being woken up between 3 and 5 a.m. is proof that the most merciful still wants to hear from you. Those who answer this call taste something indescribable, a peace that cannot be bought, a sweetness that cannot be explained. Their hearts find rest, their minds find clarity, and their souls find strength. They begin to see their challenges differently, not as punishments, but as opportunities to draw closer. Because once you've spoken to the divine in the depth of the night, no worldly problem can shake you the same way again. So, the next time you wake up in those quiet hours, don't rush to close your eyes again. Don't dismiss it as coincidence or insomnia. Take a deep breath and realize that you've been chosen for a conversation beyond this world. The King of all kings is calling you, not because He needs you, but because you need Him. Answer that call, and you'll discover that those few moments of connection can change the entire direction of your life. Because in that silence, when no one else is listening, Allah is. The hours between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. are unlike any other in the entire day. The air feels different, the silence feels deeper, and the heart, if you listen closely, begins to whisper truths it ignores during daylight. This is the hour of mercy, the hour of forgiveness. The time when the doors of the heavens are open wider than at any other moment. It is a sacred time when Allah's mercy descends like gentle rain upon the earth, searching for hearts that are awake, souls that are yearning, and voices that are calling upon their Lord. When you are awakened in those hours, it is not random. It is not your body simply reacting to rest or routine. It is the most merciful inviting you to stand before Him when no one else is watching, when no one else can hear. During the day, your life is filled with noise, responsibilities, conversations, worries, and distractions that keep your mind occupied and your heart restless. But at night, when the world falls asleep, something miraculous happens, the distractions vanish, and only sincerity remains. In that stillness, Allah calls out, asking, "Who is seeking my forgiveness so that I may forgive them? Who is asking of me so that I may grant them?" Think about that for a moment. The Lord of all worlds, the one who needs nothing, is inviting you personally to ask for whatever you need. It is the hour when pride fades, masks drop, and hearts open. There is no pretense in the darkness. There is only truth. Mercy at that time is not a concept, it is a living experience. You feel it in the calm that settles over you as you raise your hands. You feel it in the warmth that enters your heart as tears begin to fall. You feel it in the peace that washes over you when you whisper, "Ya Allah," and realize that He is listening. Every mistake you've made, every sin you've hidden, every burden you've carried, all of it can be lifted in those moments. It's not just about forgiveness, it's about renewal. It's as though the night itself is saying, "You get another chance." There's something beautiful about knowing that no matter how many times you've fallen, there's a time every single night where the door of return is open. Allah doesn't just forgive, He loves to forgive. He doesn't just hear your words, He understands your silence. He doesn't just erase your sins, He replaces them with blessings. This is the hour when His mercy overtakes His anger, when He descends to the lowest heaven to meet those who choose to rise above their comfort. He doesn't need your prayer, but He knows your soul does. Those who experience this hour often describe it as the moment they truly began to live. Because in that sacred silence, you stop performing and start feeling. You stop talking to the world and start talking to the one who made it. You start to realize that no problem is too heavy, no sin too great, no wound too deep when you turn to Allah with sincerity. The heart that cries in those hours finds healing no medicine can offer. The soul that bows in those moments finds peace no therapy can give. The person who stands in prayer while the world sleeps finds light that carries them through the darkest days. Sometimes Allah delays your comfort during the day because He wants to give it to you at night. Sometimes your anxiety is not a curse but a calling, a way for your soul to wake up when your body can't rest. If you are awake between 3 and 5 a.m., consider it an invitation. Allah is saying, "Come to me, I am listening." And if you respond even with just a few whispered words, even with just a tear or a sigh, you are counted among those who are awake when the world is asleep, remembered when others are heedless, forgiven when others are unaware. The most beautiful part is that every moment spent in those hours brings blessings that echo through your entire day. The serenity you feel in Fajr, the ease in your work, the peace in your heart, they are all fruits of a night where you answered His call. And if you make it a habit, if you make it your secret meeting with your Lord, your life begins to change in ways you cannot imagine. You start to see mercy in everything, in pain, in delay, even in loss, because your heart knows where peace truly comes from. So the next time you find yourself awake before dawn, don't see it as an inconvenience. See it as love, pure, divine love from the one who wants to forgive you before the sun rises. While the world sleeps in forgetfulness, you are being given the chance to wake up to mercy. Whisper to Him, ask of Him, cry to Him. Because in those quiet, sacred hours, every tear you shed is seen, every word you utter is heard, and every prayer you make is written down with divine attention. That is the power of those hours. That is why He wakes you up, not to lose sleep, but to gain His mercy. When Allah wakes you up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., It is not a coincidence. It is a divine message written specifically for your heart. It is a sign that He is calling you towards something higher, something purer, something that cannot be found in the noise of the day. During those sacred hours when the world is silent and darkness covers everything, Allah chooses whom He wishes to awaken. Not everyone is given that opportunity. You might think it's just insomnia or stress or your body clock, but in truth, it is a spiritual awakening, an unseen nudge from your Creator, reminding you that He misses your voice, that He wants to hear from you. This time is not random, it is sacred by design. The Prophet once described that in the last third of the night, Allah descends to the lowest heaven, calling out to His servants, who is seeking forgiveness so I may forgive him? Who is asking of me so I may give to him? Think of that, the Lord of the worlds who sustains the entire universe, personally inviting you to ask, to seek, to return. Of the one who could ignore your silence, yet chooses to call you by name in the stillness of night. It's not your alarm clock that wakes you up. It's not the noise outside. It's Him. It's His mercy saying, I'm still here. You can still start again. Many people spend their nights chasing distractions, entertainment, social media, endless scrolling, searching for comfort in temporary things. But those who rise in these blessed hours discover something entirely different. The serenity that comes when your soul meets its Creator in solitude. That meeting changes everything. It cleanses the heart, strengthens faith, and lights a fire of peace that lasts through the chaos of the day. Because when you wake for Allah, He fills your waking hours with light, ease, and barakah. Imagine standing alone at that time. The streets are empty, the air is cool, and silence reigns, but your heart is alive. You raise your hands and whisper, Why Allah? You speak not from memory, but from the depths of your being. You tell Him what hurts, what scares you, what you cannot say to anyone else. And He listens, He responds, not always with words or immediate changes, but with something more powerful, tranquility, the kind of calm that can't be explained, only felt. The kind of peace that tells you that no matter how broken you feel, you are still being held. This sacred calling is a mercy that most people overlook. It's an honor to be chosen by Allah to wake up while others sleep. You may not realize it, but those moments are writing your destiny. Every tear you shed in those hours is planting seeds of blessings that will bloom in your future. Every dua whispered then is answered in ways you might not yet see. Sometimes Allah delays His response because He wants you to keep returning. Because in returning to Him, you find yourself. If you have ever felt lost, empty, or distant from Allah, these are the hours where you can rebuild that connection. They are the gateway to divine love, a love that expects nothing, that forgives endlessly, that heals completely. And the beauty of it all is that He never forces you to come. He invites you gently, lovingly, patiently. Every night, He gives you another chance to respond. Every night, He opens the door of mercy again, waiting for you to walk through. So when you wake between 3 and 5 a.m., do not roll over and ignore it. Don't say, I'll pray later. This is not just another moment. This is the moment when angels descend, when prayers soar, when forgiveness is poured, when destinies are rewritten. This is the time when hearts that are awake find light that the sun itself cannot give. It's a moment when the unseen world draws closer, when the veil between you and your Lord becomes thinner. The next time your eyes open at that hour, smile, because Allah remembered you, because He chose you from millions who slept through His call. Because He loves you enough to disturb your sleep for something far greater. The peace that comes from standing before Him in the quiet of the night. Answer that call. Respond to that invitation. Let your tears speak where words fall short. And when the dawn arrives, you'll realize something beautiful. The world didn't change overnight. You did. When Allah wakes you up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., it is not just a physical awakening, it is a spiritual appointment, a moment when your soul is being summoned. These hours, known as the last third of the night, hold a power that the rest of the day does not. It is when the distractions fade, when the world falls silent, and when your heart can finally hear what He has been too busy to listen to. The whisper of your Creator calling you back to Him. These moments are not ordinary. They are divine opportunities for transformation, for forgiveness, and for deep connection. Allah doesn't need your prayer at that hour. You do. He doesn't benefit from your dua. you do. It is His mercy that gives you this window of peace to recharge your soul before the world demands your attention again. Between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., the world is asleep, yet the heavens are open. Angels descend, mercy flows, and the air itself feels different. It's lighter, calmer, more sincere. Your heart can feel that difference even if your mind cannot fully grasp it. When you stand in prayer at that time, you are standing in the company of the chosen, those who have been blessed with the courage to respond when Allah calls. It's a silent, unseen gathering of the sincere, spread across the world, connected by one purpose, to seek the nearness of their Lord. Imagine that in the stillness of the night, while others are lost in dreams, your name is being mentioned in the heavens because you rose to remember Him. This is also the time when your du'as have a special power. There is no barrier between you and Allah in these hours. The Prophet described that Allah descends to the lowest heaven during this time, asking, who is asking so that I may give him? Who is seeking forgiveness so that I may forgive him? Think about that. The one who owns everything, the one who can change your life in an instant, is waiting for you to simply ask. And yet, so many people sleep through that invitation, unaware of the treasures being offered. You may have spent months making dua during the day and felt unheard, but one tearful plea in these hours can do what 1,000 daytime prayers could not. Because this is the hour of sincerity, when hearts speak without pride and tears fall without shame. The night itself becomes a witness to your worship. The walls that see you pray, the floor that fills your forehead in sujood, the air that carries your whispers, all of them will testify for you on the day of judgment. They will say, he remembered you when others forgot. She stood when others slept. How beautiful is that? How merciful is Allah that He gives you the chance every night to write your story again, to erase your sins, and to fill your record with light. No matter how broken you feel, no matter how far you've strayed, if you answer this call, you're already on your way back to Him. When you wake at that hour, it is not a burden, it is a gift. It's a message that Allah wants to draw you closer. It's His way of saying, I haven't forgotten you. You still matter to me. Many people wait for signs that Allah loves them. They look for miracles, for blessings, for worldly changes. But one of the greatest signs is when He wakes you while others sleep. Because He doesn't call those He has abandoned. He calls those He loves. And in that love, He gives you moments of stillness to realign, to repent, to reconnect. This time between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. is not just about prayer. It's about purification. It's about washing your heart of the noise of the day, of the mistakes you made, of the guilt you carry. When you sit before your Lord and speak to Him with honesty, He cleanses your soul in ways that no one else can. The peace that follows is indescribable. You may not get everything you ask for right away, but you'll get something even greater. Contentment. The kind that makes you smile even in hardship because you know Allah is listening, Allah is working, and Allah will never waste your tears. So the next time you find yourself awake at that hour, don't rush back to sleep. Sit up, whisper His name, pour out your heart. Even if you can only say, Ya Allah, help me, say it with sincerity. Because those few moments of connection can do what years of effort cannot. Those minutes between 3 and 5 a.m. can shift your destiny. They can open doors you never imagined, heal wounds you thought would never close, and fill your life with a peace that the world cannot offer. That's not just a spiritual moment. That's divine mercy unfolding right before your eyes. When Allah wakes you between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., it's not just a coincidence, nor is it a random moment of sleeplessness. It is a divine reminder that you are being invited into a secret conversation between the Creator and His creation. This sacred time, the last portion of the night, is a time when the soul becomes light, when the noise of the world fades, and when hearts are most honest with themselves. The call to wake is not just about prayer. It is about connection, about returning to your true purpose, and about remembering that you were created for more than this world. Allah calls you to wake, not to burden you, but to honor you. He chooses you from millions who sleep peacefully to be among those who kneel before Him in love, repentance, and trust. Think about it. The King of all kings, who needs nothing and no one, chooses to invite you, a flawed and weak human being, to speak directly to him when the world is asleep. That invitation alone is a mercy so deep that if we truly understood it, we would never sleep through it again. In those hours, your whispers are not lost. Every word, every tear, every sigh is heard by the one who understands what you cannot even put into words. He listens to what your heart says even when your tongue remains silent. It's not about how long you pray or how beautifully you recite. It's about how sincerely you call out. There is a reason the night is calm and silent. It's so that when you speak, you can hear yourself, not just your words, but your soul. The things you suppress during the day, your worries, your fears, your regrets, they rise in those quiet hours. And Allah, in His infinite mercy, gives you that time to pour them all out to Him. You don't need to hide behind strong faces or false smiles. You can be your truest, rawest self. Because in front of Allah, there is no judgment, only understanding and compassion. Some people may think waking at that hour is a sign of stress or anxiety. But in reality, it's a call from beyond this world. Allah may be waking you because He knows you're carrying something heavy. Maybe your heart is breaking in silence. Maybe you've been trying to fix things on your own and failing. Maybe you've reached a point where you don't know what else to do. And so in His mercy, He wakes you to remind you that you don't have to do it alone. He wakes you not to test your patience, but to strengthen your faith. He wakes you, give you peace when everything else feels uncertain. This moment between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. is where destinies shift. It's where dua changes decree. It's where forgiveness is written and hearts are healed. You may not see it immediately, but every tear that falls, every prayer whispered, every sincere plea is building something unseen. The angels are witnessing your devotion, and Allah is preparing answers in ways you cannot yet imagine. You might pray for one thing and receive something entirely different, but what He gives is always better, even if you don't yet understand it. When you wake at that hour, it is not to lose sleep, but to gain strength. The world may still look the same when the sun rises, but your heart will not. It will feel lighter, more at peace, and more connected. Because once you've tasted the sweetness of that conversation, nothing else compares. The problems that once overwhelmed you will seem smaller, because now you've handed them over to the one who can actually solve them. The fears that kept you awake will turn into trust, because you'll realize you were never meant to carry them alone. Allah does not wake you without purpose. Every awakening is an act of love. It's a reminder that no matter how far you've drifted, you can always come back. It's an invitation to rise, to reconnect, and to remember who you are. A servant loved enough to be called into a divine meeting before the dawn. Those moments are proof that Allah sees you, hears you, and wants you close. So when your eyes open between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., don't rush back to the comfort of your bed. The real comfort is waiting on your prayer mat. The real peace is in those quiet words between you and your Lord. That is where lives change, where souls heal, and where you finally understand what it means to be loved by the one who never sleeps. When Allah wakes you between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., it's not simply the restlessness of your body. It's the stirring of your soul. It's a sign that the one who created you wants to speak to you directly. In the silence of the night when no one else can interrupt, this is not just a call to prayer. It's a divine conversation waiting to unfold. At that time, when the world is still and quiet, Allah draws closer to those who seek Him. He opens the door of mercy, waiting for the hearts that will respond. And when you respond, when you leave the comfort of your bed and stand before Him, something inside you begins to awaken that no amount of sleep can give. It's peace, it's purpose, it's power, the kind that transforms you from within. The early hours before dawn carry a secret that only the sincere discover. It's not a secret found in books or lectures. It's a truth experienced through presence. It's that feeling when your forehead touches the ground and you realize you're exactly where you were meant to be. The burdens that felt too heavy start to lift. The fears that haunted you lose their grip. The confusion that clouded your mind begins to clear. That's because you're not just talking to anyone, you're speaking to the one who knows every detail of your life, every pain in your chest, every tear you've held back. And in those hours, he's not distant, he's near. So near that your whisper is enough for him to respond. When Allah wakes you, he's not taking something from you, he's giving something to you. Those moments are gifts wrapped in silence. He's giving you time before the world demands it. He's giving you peace before the noise begins. He's giving you light before the day brings its tests. It's like he's saying, come to me now, and I'll prepare you for everything ahead. That's why those who wake in these hours often find that their days carry a special kind of ease, not because their lives are perfect, but because their hearts have been anchored in faith before the day even starts. It's easy to ignore that call, to turn over and tell yourself you'll pray later. But every missed moment is a missed opportunity for transformation. Allah doesn't need you to wake. You need it. You need that connection, that moment of truth where you strip away all pretense and simply say, You are Allah, I need you. It's in that humility that the heart is purified. When you stand before Him, there's no mask, no title, no image, just a servant and his Lord. And in that raw honesty, you find what your soul has been craving all along: closeness, forgiveness, love. The beauty of these hours is that they don't just change your night, they change your entire life. The person who wakes between 3 and 5 a.m. begins to walk differently during the day. There's calm in their eyes, strength in their heart, and light in their face. Because once you've spoken to Allah in the quiet of night, the world loses its power to shake you. You stop fearing people. You stop worrying about outcomes. You start to trust that whatever happens, Allah has already written it for your good. That certainty becomes your shield, your peace, your strength. And for those who feel unworthy, those who think they've sinned too much, fallen too far, know this: Allah doesn't wake you to punish you. He wakes you because He wants to forgive you. He's calling you because He loves you even when you've forgotten Him. He's giving you a moment to start fresh, to wipe your record clean, to rise from your mistakes with a new heart. No one who responds to that call leaves empty-handed. Every soul that rises in those hours returns with something: forgiveness, healing, or hope. So when your eyes open in the quiet of the night, understand this: it's not an accident. It's a mercy. It's Allah saying, I'm still here for you. It's His way of reminding you that you're never too lost to be found, never too distant to be heard. All you have to do is answer. Because when you do, when you speak to Him before the dawn, He writes peace into your morning, strength into your struggles, and blessings into your future. And one day you'll look back and realize the nights you woke between 3 and 5 a.m. weren't interruptions, they were invitations. Invitations to the greatest love, the deepest peace, and the purest connection your heart will ever know.